let's shift focus and talk about GST. The new rates have come into effect from today. And for that, we are joined in our corporate conversation today. We have Amit Agarwal, Group CFO at Raymond, joining us to discuss three focal points that we want to highlight and we'll talk about today. Obviously, GST cuts across the textile value chain coming to around 5%. Though retail side, the 2,500 price point is there. We'll talk about that as well, what it means for the company. Now, obviously, what will be the benefit of these lower input costs that come in for Raymond, while 2,500 and above that retail price, we're seeing that 18% GST, but benefit of lower input costs as well as festive demand, FTA tailwinds. How is all that going to be shaping up for the company is what we'll be discussing with Mr. Agarwal. Good afternoon, Mr. Agarwal. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Let's start by talking about the positives for today, right? GST, the rate cuts that have come in as well. And the highlight that comes in, one is obviously the 2,500 rupees price point that's there, right? Above that, it's 18% GST. Firstly, what portfolio of yours, how much of your portfolio currently is coming from, about 2,500 rupees? And also in terms of value chain, what will be the benefit and how are we seeing things now shape up for the company?
Yeah, thank you for having me on the channel. And if I look at it, the entire portfolio in the domestic market, we sell a significant, almost 50% of our portfolio is fabrics, which is clearly at a 5%. And the benefit which has come on the reduction from 12 and 18% on the input cost to 5% is going to benefit, which we have already clearly outlined and we are passing on to the customers. Similarly, in the apparel business, which is another 25-27%, of that, at least 70-75% of the products will come below the 2,500. It is only very few 25% in numbers which is going to come about 2,500, which is primarily the suits and jackets, which are more like 5,000, 7,000 rupees. Where actually you are not seeing that people don't mind paying even a 12% moving up to 18%. But the larger portion of our business comes into the 5%. And that is effective today. We have to pass on the price reductions, changing from 12%, which was on the apparel, to 5%, has already been passed. And actually what we did was, over the last 10 days, we had already did a GST Bachat scheme for all our customers in the retail counters. So that we have already implemented and we are already seeing a good traction from the customers in the last 10 days as well.
Okay, so you saw traction in the last 10 days as well, right? Because some of the, retailers and consumption side were highlighting that maybe there was a bit of a postponement in terms of buying. Was that anything you noticed? And expectation that now you have from the festive season, will you make up for the lost time maybe?
Yeah, so initially what happened from the 15th of August till let's say 10th of August, 10th of September, we had seen a little bit dip. And after that, because we had already passed on the benefit to the customers from the apparel side from 12% to 5%, we had seen a pick up in the sales. But you will have always, because of the Shraddh period, slightly slower sales. But what we compared to the last year's Shraddh period sales and this year, we see an increase. Now, going forward, obviously, we are all very optimistic about this huge bonanza which has come in the hands of the consumer. As our Pradhan Mantri ji said, that it is actually a 2.5 lakh crore bonanza which is there in the hands of the consumers, is clearly showing the signs, as we have seen very good bookings for the festival as well as the wedding season. So we feel very, very optimistic that we should be able to offset and demonstrate a decent growth compared to the last year.
Okay, so just put some numbers, Amit, on that, and this is Ekta joining into the conversation. If you were talking about, if you had to compare the Shraddh period from last year to this year, and you've passed on the GST benefits, say 10 days ago already, what is the sales growth that you've seen as compared to last year? And when you are talking about this festive season, what's your sense in terms of growth as compared to the previous festive season or last year's festive season? How much are you expecting? How much of it do you think is incrementally boosted by this GST rationalization?
So if I look at it for the Shraddh period, compare like to like last year to this year, I think we have already seen close to 7.5 to 8% growth. And if I take about the whole festive and the wedding season, what we are forecasting anything between 12 to 14%, depending upon product, be it apparel or a fabric, clearly that kind of a growth. Now, it is difficult to point out whether it is going to be exactly only because of the GST or it is the boost in demand for the variety of reasons, be the stronger festive season. But very clearly, these 2.5 lakh crore is going to be a very large contributor in boosting up the demand.
Okay. All right, Amit. Well, we'll definitely touch base with you because now that all of the rationalization is in place, maybe we'll get a sense in terms of what the demand would be in a couple of weeks. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. So that's Raymond Lifestyle. The stock, as you can see, is just about lower by around 0.7%. We need to get back.